Hey, beautiful souls. This is going to be a part 2 to the Cold Unsolved Crimes Missing Person Cases video that I did. So, as I said in that video, if any of that triggers you or is too sensitive of a topic, you stop watching. Maybe watch it later when you're a little more okay with it, if you're so inclined. I want to point out a couple things for people who decide to consult a psychic medium for said crime. You want to make sure, well, first of all, you need to find someone who actually does it. Not everybody does. Second of all, you need to know that a psychic medium should only be doing the reading for either law enforcement or to direct immediate family. No one else. Unless, of course, you're in a situation where, say, there's no family and maybe they have a best friend, but really it should only be immediate family, law enforcement. The thing you need to know is not all law enforcement is ready or willing to dive into this. I get it. People are skeptical, and that's okay. And I mean, you know, it's just how it is. But if you do decide to say, you know what, I feel like nothing's getting anywhere, I want to maybe consult it, because we're just kind of at a dead end at the moment with an investigation. If you decide to do it, I want to tell you some of the things you need to be prepared for, some of the things you're going to need to do in dealing with the psychic medium for this particular thing. Now, first of all, the only information you should give the psychic medium is the first name of the person, whether they're missing or you want to know what happened to them, whatever that may be. Only the first name of the person. Now, the reason for that is, and not the last name, is the last name is a family name which is attached to a lot of people. When you're looking at a particular person, the first name is key, because that only involves that person directly and that person alone. Okay, so first name only. And then the only other thing you would want to provide them with, and that depends if they ask or not, and even if they don't, it's okay for you to do it, would be a picture of the person. Preferably a close-up of their face, no filters, no sunglasses, and a picture of just them by themselves, close-up of their face, like a headshot kind of thing, if photo. You should not provide them with anything else. And I'll tell you why. I know you will be very anxious for answers, of course, which is perfectly understandable. Now, they will probably fill you in on how they do things, but I just wanted to make this video so that you would be aware of some of the things you need to maybe do and don't do, things to do, things to avoid. Now, what I've covered so far, that's what you do. Don't give them any other information, because you want to ensure that you have a clear, clean, uninfluenced reading. And that's really, really important. You know that saying when they tell you don't think about pink elephants? Well, if you say that to someone, what are they going to think about pink elephants? Now, I'll tell you what I mean. If you have questions for them, depending on how they do things, that's fine. Like if people have questions for me when I do it, that's fine. But you have to be careful the questions you ask and how you ask them, and I'll give you some examples. For example, you might say, or ask about a car or a van or SUV, something like that. Instead of saying that, because right away that will influence what the person might see, you want to approach it like, is there a vehicle involved, or is there a mode of transportation? You want to keep it very basic, very vague, so that if there is something involved, it's a yes or no, and then they can see if they can see it. But that way you're not saying, oh, well, was there a car? Well, then you're going to think about a car, because we are human, and it's tricky, difficult work. Another example is, say, how many people are involved, right? Whether that be, you might say, oh, were there 2 people or 3 people? The way to phrase the question would be, how many people are involved in this? So don't give a number, because by doing that you would influence. I hope this is making sense. Another thing to do too would be, okay, say there's a vehicle, whatever it may be. Don't say, was it a blue car? Once you've established whether there's a vehicle, and maybe they'll say yes, it was a car or a truck or what have you, ask if they can see the color. Don't suggest a color. Ask if they can see the color. If you suspect someone is involved, like if you have suspicion that there might be a particular person or persons involved, don't mention their name or what they look like. Let the psychic medium see it. Don't say, was there a man there or a woman there? Just say, like, who is involved and how many people. You need to keep it very very basic, like I said, so you don't influence them at all, because the minute you say a man, they're going to see it, they might see a man. So I hope that makes sense where I'm going with that. There's so many things. I mean, for example, also say it's a crime where there was possibly a weapon involved. That's what you would say. Was there a weapon involved? Don't say gun. Don't say knife or whatever, because that can influence the reading. You would simply say, were there any weapons involved, or was there a weapon involved? So I think, with these examples, you should be getting the idea of what I'm coming across. So, and that would go for whether it's law enforcement questioning a psychic medium, or if you, the immediate family, are questioning the psychic medium. This is the way you need to go about it to get the clearest and most unbiased, uninfluenced information possible. And it's the best way to do it. That's why, you'll see the psychic medium, don't tell me anything, don't tell me this, don't give me any more information, things like that. So that is how you would approach that. Whatever question you have, if it's specific, maybe you think it's a woman or a man, or it's one of 3 people involved, just keep it very basic and say, who's involved. Don't even say men or women, just say who's involved, how many people. That way they can see it clearly and there's no influence there. It's very, very important to do that to get the most accurate and precise information. Okay? So I hope that's helpful. And keep in mind, some law enforcement might be open to consulting a psychic medium, some are not. If you decide to do it on your own and you get any information, it might even be wise, unless you know it's something for sure you can share without it being looked at as skeptical. You might even want to consider not saying where you got the information from if you did consult a psychic medium. And I'm not saying lie or mislead, law enforcement, but they're not always receptive to that. So just be very careful how you approach that. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being here with me again. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification button, and I will see you next time.